good morning, people. It's Wednesday, the 20th of March, 2024. Welcome to TDA, the day after, your favorite news platform and the home of popular culture, as defined by you guys, the culture. And of course, we're hosted by the best. Brent, do we need people to introduce themselves?
I can't flick to anything.
Okay, then. I'm pretty sure the people might have guessed that since I'm sitting in the feminist chair, the Esther's chair, then, they would know nobody's in today. You know what I mean? Margs is down because the white man tried to send him a bug that messed up his belly yesterday. And Esther's not here because she has to do some great work out there in the community. It's just me and Brent, man. How are you today, Brent?
I'm all right. Thank you very much. That me and Brent stuff. I think for as long as I've known you, you've always said it like that. It's never been like Brent and I. It's me and Brent. Is that a Nigerian thing?
No, it's just speaking English, isn't it?
Is that how you think the grammar is supposed to work?
That's how William and them speak.
I
heard him say
and
me
Brent.
and Kate, me and my grandma.
Serious?
Kind of.
Wow.
Do you know the real difference between me and this or Brent and I, for example, how to use it? Because obviously you're making it seem like you do. In your brain? What's the calculation? How does it work?
As in how I choose between two? I don't choose what you say.
But why do you always choose the person and I?
I don't know. I think that's how my mother.
It's not always
taught me.
There's like a formula.
How do you use mine?
Okay, so yours would be Brent and I think if you can remove the I and the sentence still work, I think that's how it works. Something like that. Yeah.
I don't know what you just said.
So no, it's because I'm realizing that you might be right. Because basically, if it was like me and Brent went to the shop, if I removed Brent, I couldn't say me went to the shop. You know what I'm saying? But if it was Brent and I went to the shop, if I move the I, it would be Brent went to the shop. So that would be basically correct. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I think you might be right.
And you always say, bring me water. Or I'm bringing water. Is it I'm bringing water? There's something that you and Esther say. I'm going to bring it for you. No, that's not that. I'll remember.
Yeah, it might be the African in us just coming out and we can't help it.
I'm bringing it.
Or the Nigerian in us, I should say. It's part of me, the Yoruba in us.
I'll remember. It's funny whenever I hear it said, and it's said with such confidence.
Yeah, we're first generation, innit? So you can get certain things wrong. It's bound to happen.
As in first generation in this country?
Yeah. So
you're saying that you brought the tradition from back home?
Kind of, yes. As in, it's that tradition back home is still very present in us. A couple of generations after that, they'll be speaking like everybody else, pretty much, innit?
I'm not sure of that.
I think so.
Yeah. Because the more you say it, the more your daughter's going to pick it up, and then she's going to say it. And I'm sure your wife says it also.
Maybe not, I don't know. Because the thing, I don't even notice what it is that I'm saying.
Yeah.
That is potentially wrong or whatever. But yeah, I know there's a few other things that I'd definitely say that are not correct. Yeah. But yeah.
I think I should get my my iPad, so I can actually see comments, because if I can use my phone.
Yes, because I thought you was going to say good morning to everybody.
Yeah, that's what I just registered. Obviously, today is going to be a quick episode, people. So you can thank whatever God you serve.
All right, then. Big up all the bi-religious folk out there. Or the tri-religious folk, you know what I mean? But yeah, man. How's everyone doing out there, man? Hope everyone's good.
Did you watch that Candice Owens?
No, I've not seen it, I've not seen it. I totally forgot. But this is obviously I did hear some of the stuff that he was playing in the studio yesterday. But I've not heard the entire thing. So obviously I'm maybe not best placed to to comment on it just yet. But from what I did hear, it just seems like the same old rhetoric, attacking people that don't seem to agree with you. You know what I'm saying? And anything that may seem somewhat critical of people's worldview, right, or how they conduct themselves, their behavior, or whatever it may be, is called anti-Semitic. Just like that. And I feel like that same thing is not afforded to every other race, because people talk about like that, talk like that about Chinese people. You don't automatically just think they're anti-Chinese or that they're spewing anti-Chinese rhetoric. You don't do that.
Would you like the same kind of coverage?
Only if it's right. You know what I'm saying? Only if it's right.
And let's just say it doesn't change over on their end.
Mm-hmm.
Would you like that same type?
Most definitely.
So why not just start doing that as opposed to
100%.
complaining about that?
Remember I said that during that time. During the time when I say that time, as if you know what I'm saying. During the time when everyone was attacking Kyrie and Kanye and all that. And I was saying, no, it's about time we come up with our own. Remember?
So yeah. I'm not saying yeah because I remember. Only because I've gone on with the thought process in my head.
Okay.
And I've dropped on something that I think might tickle you. So I thought, let me stop letting you talk and let me talk over you, because I believe this is more important.
All right.
Did you see the latest Kanye West information?
No, what happened?
Where he sat down with, I can't remember who the guy is, the bald guy who's very prominent in that media space, and it was in a black room that had no windows and had a futuristic table. It could be a room in his house, to be honest. It looks like a room in Kanye West's house. But he basically said that he is he is God.
Kanye West said that?
He said, essentially, he said, F Jesus. Jesus didn't help me when I needed him the most.
I saw a clip of that though.
Yeah.
But that might have been
out of context.
Have you seen the entire thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
I haven't seen the entire
not
thing.
seen
I've
it.
seen the entire part of that conversation.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've not seen the entire thing. But to me, when I heard that, it's basically the clip where he's saying, when I prayed to Jesus, he didn't come for me, sort of thing.
Yeah.
I mean, slaves said that. Our people said that for hundreds of years.
Yeah.
That don't mean nothing to me. It's
Yeah.
because in some ways real.
Yeah.
How many people go up there in church every Sunday talking about, oh yeah, when I praise God, I did for years, and God didn't show himself. But then later they say, oh, maybe this was part of the journey or part of this, that, and the third.
So that argument, God didn't answer me when I wanted him to answer me. Like, where do you sit with that?
Context 100% is important. I don't see it as a bad thing. If that's what you feel to be true, then it's true. You know what I'm saying?
So you are a fan of whatever you feel, it is reality.
No. It's just me acknowledging that that's what you feel. It doesn't necessarily mean it's real. You know what I'm saying? Because God obviously is infinite. We don't know how he works all the time. He can be there. It's kind of like somebody calling for you, your child calling for you, for example, and wanting you to intervene in a particular matter, but you're standing close, making sure it doesn't go too far. But you don't intervene in the way they want you to intervene. It doesn't mean you weren't there. It doesn't mean you wasn't looking over them. But it's from their perspective, they're still saying, yo, when I called you to do this particular thing, you didn't do it.
So I come to you as your brother and I say, I'm going through hard times.
Yeah.
And I've prayed to Jesus, right? I've called on his name. And every single time this solution, this door hasn't opened. And I'm looking to basically give up on God. What would you tell me?
I say, don't give up on God, innit?
What would you say to me saying, but I've prayed to him and there's no answer?
I would say that basically it depends on what it is you're talking about. But
Let's say
the overall thing would
my
be,
child is being taken away from me because of the madness that's been happening from my mouth.
madness in what way?
Well, the reason as to why is Kanye West's child was removed from him because he was going crazy.
Oh, you're bringing it back to Kanye? Okay.
No, I'm saying I've now come to you and the same circumstance has befallen me.
Yeah, but then
And everything that led up to it,
yeah.
you know, it's on me. And I've come to you and said, Jesus is not giving me what I want.
But then I'll tell you the truth. Then I'll say it's not about Jesus.
Continue.
We have agency, innit?
Continue.
So
Because I want you to understand when I told you what I told you the first time,
yeah.
you didn't give me this energy.
no, because now you're giving more. You're painting the picture a bit more.
So I'm making it real for you.
No, now you're making it about almost like Kanye and somebody who thinks like Kanye. But many people, like our ancestors, for example, who didn't have mental health like Kanye West, thought a similar
I think
type
I
of
understand
thing.
what you're saying. So when I asked you what is your position or where do you stand on that, you just thought it was a general question and not what I had talked about just before.
Exactly.
I
I
asked that
didn't know it
question.
was pertained to Kanye West.
That's so interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. Now I'm speaking to you
All right.
about Kanye West.
Okay, cool.
And give me the response.
No, but then I know, let me not say I know, but from the media, from even stuff Kanye West has said, I know obviously he's got mental health issues in it. So I'll basically be like, look, it's not what you, respectfully, it's not what you're basically thinking to be the case. Could it be that maybe your decision here led to this, led to this, led to that? You know what I'm saying? God isn't going to facilitate your madness. Not madness in the mental health way. Just you just not being, you know what I mean, doing the right stuff. That's pretty much what I'd say. It has nothing to do with God. This is just a human thing. That's what it is.
Fair enough. And obviously, him saying he is God. Obviously, let's just say he sat next to you in a NOI meeting, right?
Yeah.
And he basically said, I don't need this. I'm God. I don't need to be here. What would you tell him?
I want to know why he thinks that. I want to know more about his new philosophy. Yeah, I'd want to know more. But sorry, let me bring it back because you're talking about Kanye.
Oh,
Pardon me.
100%. I'm still on this particular
Exactly.
contextual
Okay.
conversation.
I would think he doesn't know what he's talking about, and I think he needs help.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I was thinking again, generally, like I'm talking to somebody else from different communities and stuff. But Kanye West himself, respectfully, again, I don't know everything about Kanye West, but I feel like he's been telling the world that he's troubled for the longest while anyway. You know what I'm saying? He has been.
But you've been asking for us to
What?
kind of pierce the exterior, exactly what he's given us, and go deeper.
Because just because you've got some, it's kind of like speaking to somebody. I'm trying to remember the guy in that Russell Crowe played in A Beautiful Mind. Remember, The Economist, American.
Okay.
So he brilliant, of course, as the title suggests, genius. He made great advancements in economics, but the guy had mental health, and it started from, I believe, around university times, just after university. He just started going crazy. The point I'm trying to make, the reason why I bring him up is that he was still able to function before it got too far. And so you could still sit down with him and still come up with amazing things that advanced economics as a whole for the world, and how people calculated things and were able to project economic, with regards to economics. But still, there are other parts of his life before it took over everything that was loony. He thought he was working for the government and trying to do all sorts to help in the war and all sorts of stuff that didn't take place. So I say all of that just to say, just because Kanye West has got mental health doesn't mean he's mentally challenged 24/7. He can still say truth. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes if he says something that sounds like it could be truth, let's perhaps give him the benefit of the doubt and say, yo, what exactly do you mean here? Instead of rendering him completely brain dead. You know what I mean?
I think so. I think you're saying just take the good bits and then cast off the crazy bits.
Essentially, but remember, it's also down to what you perceive as good.
Well,
You know what I'm saying? Exactly.
Yeah. And that's the same with, I don't know, like, what?
No, someone SLM86 said Kanye would scream at E-Man that he ain't got all the answers.
But that's accurate.
Yeah. And I have to be patient with him. You know what I mean?
Okay. This is great. Would you say the same to Kemi Badenoch or that Nana woman on GMB?
No, I would give them less grace, to be honest with you.
Why?
Because I feel like, as far as I'm aware, they ain't got no mental health issues. It's more so just, you know what I mean? Like some real...
So wait, you give patience to the man who has mental health
Because he doesn't know any
issues.
better.
The black man who has mental health issues, but the black woman who doesn't.
Yeah.
You'd be like, nope, no patience
No,
whatsoever.
because I know that she's a fully her brain is intact fully. She's functioning properly. She's just in denial, and she just wants to appease our potential enemy. Kanye West doesn't strike me as that person.
Why don't you think Kanye West knows and he's cognizant of everything that he decides to say and do?
Because of the mental health part. So I'm factoring in that part as well.
So,
but remember, I'm not saying that he doesn't want to please white people or doesn't. I'm not saying that at all.
I'm just focusing on this latest infraction.
Cool.
And him saying that he's God and him saying that Jesus. You said that the slaves did the same thing.
Yeah.
So you're not calling all the slaves mentally stunted.
No.
But yet Kanye.
Yeah. Because I know that the guy's been, well, he will say, I guess, over medicated.
Yeah, but you wouldn't ascribe what he has said to. Well, this is evidence that he's mentally stunted. Because he said the slaves said the same thing.
Yeah, so I would need to know more information. This is why I said to you, answering it generally is different to now that I'm thinking about Kanye West. Because I know information about Kanye West. You know what I'm saying? I know that he's got mental health problems. The world knows. The man's on medication.
How?
Or doesn't
him being
take,
on medication
doesn't
doesn't mean that he is mentally gone.
No, but the medication is
suggest
for that though.
Yeah.
Isn't
But
it?
isn't he claiming that they put him on that?
But this is what I'm saying.
And
to
he's
you.
claiming that he's not mentally
No, but
deficient.
Again, I've not seen the interview at all. But
I'm not
the
talking
impression,
about the interview. You are talking about Kanye West on the whole. You know that he has mental health issues, right?
Yes, but remember, I'm pretty sure I also saw a clip of him saying that he's kind of in this state because of what they've done. You know what I'm saying? So it's not like he's just normal when he doesn't take the medication, but because of the years of taking the medication, listening to them and doing certain things have tweaked for him also.
What's one of the things, just one of the things that is evidence to you that he has mental health problems?
I guess some of the rants that don't seem as coherent. Yeah.
Name one.
He's done quite a few in it,
I
but
know he has.
remember, it's not necessarily the entire rant. It's
Just
stuff within.
just the bits that you
I
don't agree with.
Not necessarily, but just stuff that just doesn't seem coherent. It doesn't seem like, because you have to remember. Yeah.
He said, let him land. Wait. Oh no, he said that. No. Get him out of here.
No, because you have to. Yeah, no. Because remember, we're assessing certain things. It's kind of like reading a particular book. Let me not make a religious book, but it's kind of like reading a particular book and saying to yourself, okay, I know that this particular thing is not scientific fact. I know that this is not, but I know that there's truth here. And I know that potentially this could be historically accurate. Doesn't mean you say the entire book is.
Are you talking about the Bible?
I'm saying a book. It could be anything. It could be a fiction. It could be anything.
You flipped the script, Now you're attacking the Bible?
I'm not attacking nothing. I'm saying a book, a literary piece. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying.
This is crazy.
Because you have to be consistent. Why is it that we can't understand?
You don't want to be consistent with the Kemi Badnucks and the Nanas.
Because I don't see mental health there. Cognitive dissonance, okay. But
so with the Kemis and the Badnucks, why wouldn't you just take the things that you agree with and just leave the rest? The same way you would do that, you would extend that grace to a madman.
I probably would do with Kemi.
I just asked you that question and you said no, you're not giving them as much grace as you give Kanye.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean that I don't think they speak some truth sometimes.
All right, so you're saying different. Just the level of how much it is that you receive them is reduced.
Yeah, 100%.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, they can definitely speak truth. Of course they can. Yeah.
All right, fair enough. Thank you very much. I'll say good morning to the people in the chat now.
Cool.
Okay. Good morning, Mel S. Please forgive. I have no board in front of me, so I can't make any noises. I can't put the tickers on the bottom. I'm really, really, really strapped today. Sorry. Morning, Mel S. Good morning, Cindy M. Good morning, C91. Good morning, Christy. Good morning, Timmy, Prince of BOE. Good morning, Davina. Sending you love and lights. Good morning, Paul Wall. Good morning, Fabio. Good morning, Everest. Good morning, Mercy. Good morning, DCF. Good morning, Esquire. Good morning, Ruby Wednesday. Good morning, Star Crow. Good morning, Abby Apaya. Good morning, Big Mavs. Good morning, Easy Bambino. Good morning, Dr. Armani. Good morning, SLMM86. Good morning, Lala. Good morning, Greek. Good morning, Hermelin. Good morning, Nicholas. Good morning, Noreen. Good morning, Ebony. And good morning, Maggie. And good morning, Tracy. Boom.
Good morning, people.
Good morning, everybody.
Well, we ain't got no comments from Spotify today, Brent.
Okay.
Should we go straight into headlines?
Mm-hmm.
Let's do it. All right, so our first headline, guess what? Jeremy Hunt, the Chancellor, has hinted a general election could be held in October. He told a Lords Committee the government's next spending review had to be completed before next April. And if the general election is in October, that would mean it's very, very tight. The latest date on an election could legally take place. Sorry, the latest date, an election could legally take place is the 28th of January 2025. Last week, Rishi Sunak had also ruled out polling day being on the 2nd of May, the date when local elections are already taking place. In the spring budget earlier this month, the Chancellor announced a further 2p reduction to national insurance for workers, matching the tax cut in last year's autumn statement. However, there is pressure from some Tory MPs for more tax cuts, which could be set out if there was another fiscal event before the election. Next headline, again, speaking about the Princess of Wales, and a staff member at the private hospital where Kate Middleton was treated tried to access her medical files, it's been alleged. The London clinic in Marylebone. How do you pronounce Marylebone?
Is it Marylebone?
Something like that. Something like
It's
that.
Marylebone.
Marylebone. That don't sit right with me. Marylebone. I'm
How's
going
it spelled?
like Marylebone.
Is it?
Yeah. If you broke up the word, that might even be French. Marylebone. You know what I'm saying? I don't know why people just got rid of the E there. Anyway, let's go with the London Clinic in Marylebone, goddammit, is an elite private hospital that has long discreetly treated royals, celebrities, and top politicians. So it was no surprise that the Princess of Wales checked into the facility in January for her planned abdominal surgery. But an insider has told the Mirror that a staffer attempted to view her private medical notes. The London Clinic declined to comment on the claims, but told the Mirror that they believe that all patients, no matter their status, deserve total privacy and confidentiality. Kensington Palace, said that the incident is an internal matter for the London Clinic, and Palace officials revealed that Kate had been admitted to the London Clinic on January the 17th. And our last headline takes us to the Middle East in Israel, where the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has reiterated his determination to carry out a ground invasion of Rafah, despite growing pressures from Western allies. So the Israeli PM rebuked Joe Biden, saying he made it supremely clear that he intended to go ahead with an assault on the southern Gaza city, where he believes Hamas's remaining battalions are hiding. But the U.S. Secretary of State, Antony Blinken, has said that he hopes to secure a ceasefire agreement and the release of hostages in Gaza in his upcoming trip to the Middle East. A United Nations-backed report has warned famine is imminent in northern Gaza, as around half of the territory's population face catastrophic hunger. Without urgent action, there is expected to be famine from now until May. Crazy. Alongside that, the UN's Human Rights Office said that Israel's restrictions on the entry of aid into Gaza could amount to a war crime, something that Israel has denied. And that's pretty much it for our headlines. Man, what's going on over there?
I don't know. I'm looking at this screen. I'm thinking it's quite off. It's like I have a delay, but I don't know if I'm just my eyes. All right.
Okay.
Let's get into
the topic of the day.
what you're saying.
All right, people. So today's topic of the day, so Brent, I want you to listen closely to this, and I want you lot in the chat to listen closely. Call up if you can. Wait, is that a possibility today, Brent?
Yeah, it's possible, but
Cool.
you guys have to give me Kanye grace because I'll have to get up for a little while.
Yes. Kanye Grace, as in Emmanuel's level, not Brent and Esther's and everybody else's level.
I ain't got no time for that, madman.
Well, this particular topic of the day is sent in by our good brother Usa, who sent in a few topic of the days, all of them being good. And this particular one, Yeah, I feel like this one is an interesting one. So basically, I'm going to read his email. He says, many episodes ago in the TDA sphere, we talked about Big Brother, the government, how it affects all of us, right? If we're not doing anything wrongly, why should we be scared of being tracked? Some of us had that sentiment. And he goes on to say, well, there's an anime that I watched called Psychopath. Have you heard of it?
No.
Okay, cool. Psychopath. So basically, in this anime, the law enforcement can apprehend citizens if they're considering actions that can cause stress or harm to others. Yeah. Because of this, the city where the system was implemented was very safe, and everybody was a lawful, a law-abiding citizen as long as you followed the rules and did not think. Listen to what I'm saying. Did not think of doing any bad. Yeah. The system tracks your psychopaths, aka your stress rating, to ensure that the crime is reduced or stamped out before the perpetrator could even perform the crime. They use a gun to track the rating. Yeah. And if the gun indicates that your rating is above the threshold for a criminal, it instantly kills you. You're just done. Right? If your rating is below the threshold, the gun doesn't activate. The question is now, is this a good thing to enact in the world today? Obviously, hypothetically. The system offers stability, income, security even though they are under a dystopian totalitarian system. But people within that system, there's stability there, you know what I'm saying? People still earning, and there's no crime, effectively. What do you think about that?
This gun, is it a gun that is distributed to every single household, every single workplace, or is this just in the marketplace?
Ooh.
Or the town hall? How is this? How is this like?
He doesn't give us information. But let's take those two routes.
Like it's a satellite and it just can see everything.
Yeah, that's the impression I'm getting. That you just see one floating around, and I guess it will be higher.
It can't
up.
be floating around.
Yeah,
it can't be
exactly.
one floating around because it will have to canvas everybody's houses.
Yeah. So I guess there will just be loads in the air, innit?
So there's like a neural network or link where somebody can see all of the and then they can just
Yeah.
All right, cool. No,
it's not a good idea.
Of course not.
Why is it not a good idea?
Because we have intrusive thoughts all the time.
Elaborate.
You know how many times I've wanted to fly kick you in your mouth? You know how many times?
But I'm Floyd, This is the people. Listen, man.
So are you
we
telling me
need to be a celebrity boxing match?
This 100%.
But listen, I'm a different type of fighter,
If you say so.
Defense first, obviously. But you know what I mean? You get counted.
Always in the back foot. Is that what you're saying? Always waiting.
No.
Always reactive.
No,
never
not
proactive.
Like Floyd, basically like Floyd.
What is that?
A winner. 50-0. God damn it.
You chat so much rubbish.
Anyway, but yes, go on.
No, it's not good because at any point in time, we can have thoughts that invade our minds that we have no plan in looking to carry out. As quickly as they come, sometimes we look to shoot away.
Would those increase your stress rating, though?
As in the intrusive thoughts?
Yeah.
Sometimes. I mean, depends on if you kind of fester on it and allow it to take bed. A lot of overthinkers and anxious people have these particular burdens.
What if they were to... I guess so. What if, for example, those people were diagnosed, and so basically the system could bypass those people?
I'll give them a bly.
Yeah. Because this person had a medical condition.
The people who have intrusive thoughts? Everybody has.
No, I mean the ones where the anxiety just takes you to a next
Sorry,
level.
before I continue, I had a conversation with Jordan, and he was shocked that I don't have an inner voice. Do you understand what I mean by that? Before
You know
I
what's
continue?
crazy though? Because this is gonna be Walker joke tomorrow. Yes. That same thing you're talking about.
What, an inner voice?
Yes. We could do it right now if you want.
Yeah. What's an inner voice to you?
But you don't have a. You know what? Let me get it. In fact, I could just talk to myself right now. Innit? I could talk to myself in my head.
No. What does that mean?
So-
paint a picture for me. So I can understand what that actually looks like.
If this is what you're talking about, so it's almost like, oh crap. Can I play the clip?
Yeah.
Cool. Because this might be what you're talking about. I'm not too sure if it is, but this was going to be Walker Joke for tomorrow, just to see if, because apparently this is a real thing. So I'm not too sure if Jordan's saying you're amongst this particular crew, right? But
bear in mind, him and Scully were the same. And bear in mind, both of them have ADHD. bear them have things going up in there.
All right, cool. Well, first, let me give a shout out to Marissa. She listened to the show. You know, so big up Jackie as well. And basically, this was passed on to me via Marissa. Well, from Marissa, for topic of the day. And so this particular thing, all right, I'm not gonna play all of it, obviously, but just the first thing, just to see if this is in line with what you're talking about.
First person that I asked if they could do it. All right. So I found out a few days ago that not everyone has the ability to speak in their brain. And the first person that I asked if they could do it was her. And turns out she can't. So I asked a bunch of people to ask me questions so I could ask her so she could try to make light of this wild situation. So like if you look, like I could look at myself in the mirror, talk in my head without opening my mouth. You physically can't do that.
No.
And what would happen if you tried to do that?
I have tried to do that since learning that an internal monologue exists, and I end up speaking out loud to myself. So most of my conversations are out loud.
I feel like this information to the people that can think in their head is a lot more like exciting news. I've talked to a few people that can't do this, and they seem less enthused as the people that do have this internal monologue.
Correct.
Does that make sense?
Yep. I'm very confused as to why people are so perplexed.
All right,
by
so
it.
the probably...
Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, I'd have preferred this to be the topic of the day as opposed to the very easy answer that you gave me.
Well, okay, let's make
But
it.
tell me something. That's a different thing
So what
that's
you're
being
talking about?
discussed. Not really.
Okay,
It's
go
in the same vein. Because he said she's unable to think in her head. I don't know if that's what I'm talking about.
Okay.
Your thoughts have a voice, an audible voice.
Okay.
That's different than just being able to think and process information in your head. Because what is implied there is she can't think in her head. So when she opens her mouth, it just comes out. So she speaks without thinking.
Essentially. Let me jump on what you're saying though. Are you, this may sound silly to me, are you basically saying if I'm thinking about this particular table over there, the table has a voice?
Excuse me?
You ain't saying the table, like if I'm thinking about, like as in, if I'm thinking about a particular thing, right, and I'm dialoguing in my head about maybe what I want to do, everything in my head has a voice? Is that what you're saying?
I am saying, Jordan said,
Yeah.
100% the cacophony of thoughts, whether you're processing it, whether you're sat in isolation and you're gisting, right?
Okay.
You're just bouncing your itinerary for the day. You're working out some sort of problem, right? It's in his voice. He's audibly hearing it in his head.
Okay, so paint a picture of what it's like in your head, how it differs.
I don't have Brent speaking in my head.
So what do you have? Do you have a voice speaking?
No, I don't have an audible voice. I can feel the thoughts. I can see the thoughts. It's like if right now I were to place a thought in a imaginary cabinet in my head, I can do that. Do you understand? But that thought is not this tongue that you're hearing right now. It has form, but it's not audible.
But what is your thought? Like, give me an example of a thought. Because some thoughts don't require no sound. Do you get what I'm saying? Like no voice, no narrator.
What do you mean by that? Because that might be exactly what I'm talking about. But his thought has a sound.
No, but it doesn't.
You're saying it doesn't. And this is my
All right.
wonderment when he was talking. and seeing what he was saying, because now you're thinking wow, what's going on in there?
Unless there was a misunderstanding in your communication, in that when he's talking about particular things that maybe, but you wouldn't have misunderstood that though.
No, I wouldn't. So when you were laughing
Yeah.
at the fact that after you've played that clip,
Yeah.
what's your baseline after hearing that?
What do you mean?
What do you think he is laughing at her about? What is he saying he has but she doesn't? Go.
That she can't say, "Oh, this jumper's red today," or "Should I put on a red jumper today?" In her head,
When
looking
you
in the mirror.
When can you do that?
Of course I can.
All right, listen. When you say that,
Mm.
is it that in your head you are slapping your voice onto it and it's rattling in your head audibly?
Or is it what?
There's no or. I'm asking you, is that what is happening with you?
Okay, well, hold on a second. You know, it's weird because I feel like it's down to how we're communicating. Follow me. Because if I'm relaying to you that I'm saying to or I'm asking myself, should I put on this red jumper today? There's a sound.
What is on where?
Like in my, obviously, because I'm speaking. How do you speak without sound?
You've now.
Do you get what I'm saying, though?
You've now jumped from in your head to now it's flying out your mouth.
Because I'm articulating it to you. So this is why I said, is there an error in the communication in understanding what the person's saying? Because in my head, right?
I don't want to complicate this.
Okay, cool.
Let's go back to that video.
Yeah.
What do you think she's saying she can't do?
So she's basically saying, "Oh, okay."
Because remember, he said, you don't even think before you speak.
There's no internal monologue. Nothing.
Don't do that.
Okay.
Let's break it down
Yeah,
to
that's
what
what I'm
he's
saying.
saying. Because
I'm getting
I'm saying that what I'm talking about is different than what he just accused her of. It's a bit offensive, to be honest.
That's what I think. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying there's a difference because obviously you've now expanded on that. Her one is on the most base level that I think everyone has. Obviously, that's why I'm shocked like he is.
And I believe if I was in that room, I would stop him from insulting her and and get her to understand what it is he is trying to basically say.
Yeah.
Yes, because I do believe she processes thoughts.
This is what I'm saying.
I do believe that.
You think that she can't.
But then again, maybe not, because Jordan, he said before he was 21, understand the age, Emmanuel, before he's 21,
yeah.
he didn't know that when people were silent, he thought it's because like they had nothing to say, like there was no thoughts in their head.
Just empty.
Just empty. And then when he heard stuff, it's because, that's when you're thinking.
Nah, man.
He went a wrong life for 21 years thinking the silence in rooms that he was in was because nobody was thinking anything.
So, are you sure?
This is what he said. No, bear in mind, John is very self-aware, right? And I believe what he's saying. I believe that he believed for 21 years. I believe that he believed that. And he said and that's why he kind of, I guess, looked to compare himself to people all the time when he was enlightened, right? Because he's like, okay. I thought when I opened my mouth, that told everybody else that, hey, there are no thoughts being processed.
So that means that's the case for him then.
And that's why he was afraid whenever he opened his mouth, because, crap.
There's no filter?
Yeah. And as it came, it went.
Ain't that like what she's saying?
She could be Jordan. Until Jordan realized that wasn't a thing, and now he is having whole dialogues in his head.
Just gone from one extreme to the next.
I don't think it's extremes. I just think that's how his brain works. But I think it's any brain that is different to mine, and the person is aware of it and still navigates dialogue with me or interactions with me in a manner in which I understand, I always basically applaud them because I don't know how difficult that is. So both of them say that they can even put like sound to other voices in that exchange. So even when I'm talking to them, they're saying right now I'm receiving it, but I'm also kind of in my head before I respond. That's normal, but for them, it's loud. It's loud, and that's why sometimes they have to focus on the sound coming from the physical room because they will get distracted. They may think, "Hey, wait, did I think that or did I say that?"
Yeah.
And they have to double take. Crap, and that's why sometimes Jordan would look at me because he thinks that I heard something that he said in his head. Do you understand?
Yeah.
And he'd be like,
Yeah. That's dangerous, man.
"It definitely is. It
That's
definitely
crazy.
is."
It just lets you know how.
So what's your inner dialogue like? Because you inner monologue like because you were like, "Yeah, I do it."
I don't know. I feel like it's my voice, isn't it? Yeah, I just feel like it's my voice talking. It's like you can't hear the voice, but it's like,
There we go.
yeah, you know what I mean?
And that's what I wanted to hear from your
Yeah.
mouth because when you were talking, it was suggesting as though you could hear it, but you can't hear it.
yeah,
It's just being processed.
exactly.
And whatever mechanisms you've grown up to get used to, all right, this is how it works.
But does your voice? You can't hear it, but you can identify the voice.
I don't know about that because it also suggests that there are other voices
Okay, put it. Let me,
present for you to now identify which one is yours, which one's the rest of them.
no, okay. This is what leads on to my next question. So let's just say we were to hook up our brains, and we just started talking, right? Could you
Telepathically?
Yeah. Let's just say we went somewhere, and my brain was in there, your brain was in there, right? So the two brains are there looking at each other, right?
Yeah.
And we're communicating. Would you be able to tell which brain is yours by how it sounds? You get what I'm saying?
No, I don't.
It's weird. It's weird to
Only because I've never experienced this thing that you've just
yeah.
put to me.
It's interesting because I feel like you would still identify your voice, even though you can't hear your voice. You know that voice is yours, and I think maybe this is what differentiates people who are okay with those who obviously have who don't think like the norm or the majority, because sometimes they can't hear the difference, and also there's somebody else in the brain too that didn't necessarily ask for permission to come in.
And this is what I was talking to him about. I'm like, you've done hella pharmaceuticals and you've done the earthy ones too, right? You've had company in your brain. You've had company. And I'm certain if you can audibly hear your voice, you've probably audibly heard other voices. And for certain individuals growing up and getting used to that, that for me is dangerous because who told me to do that? And can that other voice mimic my voice at times?
Yeah.
Because if I've relied on just trying to listen to the advice or the stare that my voice gives me, and that other voice can now mimic mine, I might trust that and do something that, oh, crap, did I just do that?
Yeah. It's interesting, man. Well, obviously, so both of them have this.
Both of them, yeah. But like I told you, both of them have ADHD. Like heavy bouts. Heavy levels.
I say it like that.
Because everybody's different. I mean, there's somebody that I know that has ADHD, but I don't know if they're hearing voices like that. high functioning as well. All of them are, to be honest. All three of them. People with ADHD tend to be, especially if it is that they're able to, I guess, use it to the best.
Can you develop ADHD?
Well, choose for you to have ADHD.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, I know it sounds crazy, but I'm just saying, because can you cure it? Can you make it more manageable?
Well, I don't know about cure. I 100% I
manageable.
believe that you can, because he takes he stopped taking it now, but he's used other methods to basically achieve the same thing. But it's a lot of noise, and sometimes it's a case where you can completely just forget that you have this thing that you have to do, because the place in your brain where it was supposed to sit, the other things now pile on top of it, and you can't get to it. And this could be crazy important stuff. So I've been told I have to keep reminding. If it's important, just keep prompting. Because it's not. It's not. They don't do it on purpose.
Yeah. Do you,
That's one of the things about it. It's not everything. Yeah.
But like you were saying earlier, that obviously he doesn't mind talking about. Obviously, on the show, he's probably talk about the drugs they've taken or whatever.
Yeah.
Those drugs, do they exacerbate the condition, or can they cause the condition?
I don't know about that.
Because
I have no expertise in that area.
The reason I'm saying is because obviously, like, I think Ruby Tuesday even said
Wednesday.
it's Tuesday today, no? It's Tuesday. But yeah, she says, I have ADHD. I don't hear her voice. And of course, obviously, this is why you said it's heavy in it. Like,
Yeah.
they have a different level in it. But I don't know. It's weird, man, because I don't know. I'm trying to think of how these particular things could be put into certain communities, or the strengths that come with certain conditions, right? Or certain ways of life or whatever could be used for good. And if these things can be somewhat contagious. Do you get where I'm coming from? Because a lot of things are obviously learned behavior. Like there's loads of things that
Give me a second, please.
Mm.
All different types. Voice to skull. Voice to skull it's all technology, guys. Remote neural monitoring, guys. Voice to skull. Brent, you don't make any sense. Government technology, Brent. I don't know what this means. Please call in and let's have a conversation. Now, I know that I process thoughts completely differently to probably the majority of people. Sometimes I can't communicate in a manner in which it is the person in front of me can't understand, and I need for them to say they don't understand for me to try to change what I'm saying for them to get it, right? So I know that sometimes I might sound like I chat absolute crap. It's just me trying to figure out, okay, what form of communication do I need to basically give you for you to get it? So, all different types, please call in. I'd like to understand what you're trying to communicate to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I don't know what this skull to voice to skull is. It's like a plugin? I don't know. But I would love to experience what they experience. Because having an audible voice in my head, that might be cool. That might be overwhelming for me. But he was shocked for like 10 minutes. He was just sitting there. And then when we moved on, he would come back to it because he really thought everybody had that inner voice, like audibly. Yeah. Like I said, to the extent where he was like, sometimes I have to check to see your face to see if you just heard what I said in my head. You know, and if it's that loud, for
That's
me,
exactly.
yeah,
That's the thing that's kind of convincing me that there was no breaching you people's communication. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, yeah, that's crazy, man.
and bear in mind, it was 3 of us in the room, so both of them was saying the same thing. So they both looked at me like I was
You're the
weird
crazy one,
because
yeah.
yeah.
Wow. But you see, okay, yeah, I don't want to go down that route. That'd be quite dangerous.
Sorry, you know I don't like when people do that.
Yeah,
And you know
it's
we're
fine.
here to give entertainment, education, elevation. So when you do that, the people who are listening, our patrons,
Yeah.
our supporters, they sigh a bit
All
because
right, cool.
they know that you are a fantastic human being and you give a whole set of knowledge, you give a whole set of entertainment. Don't now tease them. Do you understand? Don't just give them a
Okay.
tip.
All right, cool. All I'm gonna say really is, do you feel like a lot of belief systems are not founded on science, right? May have been started by people who had what we would call today ADHD or mental health because they heard a voice. You know what I'm saying? They heard the voice of God, or they heard the voice of an angel, or they heard the voice of something say, go and do this particular thing. But because it maybe produced something good in society, it kind of justified the fact that everything was working up there. You know what I'm saying? Because if I'm hearing an audible voice and I can't differentiate, and that audible voice is telling me to do certain things, and I'm battling, kind of like trigger warning, the young boy last week that we were talking about, whose parents are now getting convicted of manslaughter. The boy was crying out for help because he kept hearing voices telling him to go and kill people. Now his voice is battling, trying, I guess, present an argument to the other voice as to why he shouldn't. Right? Obviously, the voice would have been getting louder to overpowered him, and he went and did what he did. But what if that voice was a productive voice? Do you feel like a lot of these belief systems start this way? Number one, and number two, why is it that we can say one is, again, this one might seem like a silly question, but why is it that one is a bad thing and one is a good thing? Is it, or should it be, it's mental health? It's just that the mental health was used for good and one was used for bad? Or is it not mental health when it's good, but it's mental health when it's bad?
You said a lot of stuff there.
Yeah.
What is science to you?
Something that can be tested. And I guess via those tests, you come to a reasonable conclusion that, you know what, this seems to be what it is.
It's just important that you can see something to believe, to call it true.
Yeah.
Or fact.
Yeah.
And whatever process you run it through, it can be repeated.
Pretty much.
Would science be able to prove divinity ever?
I don't know. The reason why I say that is because I feel like there would have been many things that science at some point in time could have never proven.
Yep.
They wouldn't have been able to see brain activity. They wouldn't have been able to see a baby moving in a mother's womb.
But yet it did.
Yeah. So maybe if we were able to, in 1,000 years, be able to properly and very clearly articulate what divinity is, and then there was some machine that could pick up on what that is, detect it, then perhaps.
All right, let me be very specific.
Okay.
Because I like when it is that's afforded me. Miracles. Can science prove miracles? Or can a scientific mind reconcile miracles?
I think so. Okay, so this is where I think you have to kind of understand that, I guess, those who do science are scientists, right? And the scientists have different opinions. So there are scientists who are religious.
I am
and
aware.
you know what I'm saying? And they're fine with not understanding every single thing. But I think,
Yet, or not
Yeah.
being able to explain certain things.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I think science can kind of reconcile that, I may not be able to understand maybe the journey from here to there, but I understand that something took place here and I understand that something took place there. So a miracle could be, okay, yeah, today my finger was broken and tomorrow, yes, I've checked and it's healed, right? The miracle is that it took only a day.
Mm-hmm.
Science can't necessarily detect how, but that's because I guess miracles tend to happen where people are not observing. You know what I'm saying? So what I'm trying to say is, I think science would have been able to pick up the healing of that broken finger if there was a machine attached to it. You would have seen something do something miraculous. You would have seen bones come together and marrow.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You would have seen that. So I think science would have been able to measure that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it being measured isn't what I'm asking.
Okay, what are you asking?
Because if that's the case, then they can live side by side next to each other.
Yes.
All right. And if they can live side by side, to your original question, the whole, are most of these religions just whispers of madness? Right? And if that's the case, why are we looking to say one is better than the other if it's all the result of madness? But if you would ask each religious person, the belief in divinity performing things that science can measure, but you could only ascribe that to the unknown. It's that keeps tripping people up. Who has done that? Who has expedited this healing process? This thing that we've measured, what's the source of it? Isn't that the biggest thing?
I guess so.
Is it not the biggest thing?
Maybe the biggest thing is just how we came to be.
No, I'm not talking about the biggest question. I'm not talking about that.
Okay.
As you said just now, there are scientists who are religious.
Yeah.
They have space for both in their experiences, right? But in general, a lot of people say, if I can't basically prove this, if it can't be measured, if it can't be this, that, and next, then it's all fantasy.
Yeah.
It's all in your head.
Yeah.
Do you understand? And I can't subscribe to that if it is that it can't be proven. Yeah. So no, to your original question, no. I don't think that all
Okay.
faiths are a result of madness, because I believe that most of these faiths actually have some divinity in each of them. It's just to the other point. Is it good divinity? Is it bad divinity?
Okay.
But for me, science is very baseline. It's
So you don't see divinity as good or bad. You see it just as a thing, and how it's used.
yeah,
is maybe
100%.
good or bad.
It's because what we deem as miracles, what we deem as observations that can't be explained with our rudimentary or limited mind, that can happen in any given religion. Any of them. Only because of what I believe. So I would say, yep, that's real, that's real, that's real, that's real, that's real, that's real. All of y'all, that's a magical happening right there. Yes. But the good in each, it differs. From my religious standpoint.
Yeah. Okay. Because I'm just thinking, for example, I don't know why, like when you was talking, I was just thinking back to being in school. And for some reason, I never forgot what my RE teacher said. Do you remember what RE teacher was? The guy, I can't remember his name.
Did he wear like a little white stripe thing sometimes on the jumper?
I can't remember. You know.
He was a white guy.
Yeah, the white guy. He's kind of tall.
Yeah.
But yeah, I remember him saying, obviously this is back in the day, and he was like, he was talking about the incident, well, one of the incidents in the Bible where I think Jesus healed a demon-possessed person. And he said that, he either said that people are suggesting it's this, or he just said it's likely that this person just had epilepsy, right? And sometimes, obviously, back then, if you're not able to diagnose these particular things, what happened? What was you going to say?
Yeah, I mean, I think both things could be true. There's epilepsy that has nothing to do with demon possession, and there's demon possession that could manifest like epilepsy.
But then, you may obviously not have a problem with this, but if you say there's demon possession that can manifest like epilepsy,
Then why isn't epilepsy?
yes, and also, no one can ever disprove to you that a demon is causing it.
All right, so when you say epilepsy, right, can epilepsy come with, like certain voices changing and contorting of the body, in a manner not just like you're doing that and shaking, but
Probably not, isn't it? That's true.
because it started somewhere, right? This particular belief started somewhere. It's hard for me not to go there first when I see a particular type of manifestation of the body convulsing.
Yeah.
Right? I am not immediately going to call demon possession if it's just a spasm. Do you understand? Because your body can react in a particular way just off the back of something you eat that can cause a spasm. Right? So, huh?
I guess so, yeah.
Okay. And sometimes you never know until it is that you are exposed to this particular thing. For example, Stephen's wedding day. I didn't know I was allergic to anything, right? Until that morning. I was in the toilet and I'm supposed to walk out and be right next to him, right?
Yep.
I look in the mirror and I see the side of my face is just blown up. Just blown up. I'm thinking, what the hell? Then Kyle comes in. He said, you're probably allergic. I said, to what? And he said that thing, that flower thing. I said, it did touch my face. And I didn't have a clue I was allergic to anything, right? So luckily he had perfume on him. So the alcohol and the perfume reduced it. And it reduced it immediately.
Miracle.
Yeah.
Go.
It reduced it immediately. And yeah, the wedding went on. It was lovely. So somebody could live their entire life not knowing that their body can react a particular way to some sort of stimulus and then find out. So yeah, I don't just go to that person's possessed when it is that they have a fit. Yeah. But I could imagine how until it is there were advancements in observing how the human body works. That's all it could be. You understand? When it is that they were looking to drill into people's heads in order to
let out the spirits. Yeah, the voices.
And you couldn't tell them nothing. You couldn't tell them nothing. Yeah. But demon possession it has a particular identifier or identifiers that you just can't just assume it isn't anything other than like a spiritual attack,
Yeah, 100%. And to be fair, I feel like sometimes, even if you want to go down a route where you're thinking, no, I need the science, because all that stuff, all these stories are too old, they're 1,000 years old, they're this, that, and the third. Like, again, this might be a bit silly, but when I think of like films like The Exorcist, where you had the Catholic Church had, for lack of a better word, particular wings or departments, people within particular teams who were sent out to cure demon possession. they taught these people this. There's manuscripts and books on how to do it and what to say and how to say it, and you wouldn't waste such resources on such things if it was fake. You know what I'm saying? But of course, or if it didn't work.
Tell me something. You know, a lot of the times I forget that I am in a house in Barkingside in Essex in the UK.
Yeah.
I'm from Trinidad.
Yeah.
So these things that I talk about, these things happen as if it was, oh yeah, that is it. Do you understand? A lot of people who were born here and only experience life here would be looking at you and hearing you and thinking you're madman. Yeah. Complete madman.
Yeah.
So that you're talking about there being whole schools of thought and education where you teach them how to do this particular thing, and when you call their name, that's how it is that they answer. They have to answer you, and all that kind of stuff. It still happens today, but not here. Do you understand? It doesn't happen here. In fact, it's probably outlawed.
Yeah. Yeah. It's crazy, and I'm pretty sure. I'm not too sure if Black Rob's trying to call in via the Discord.
Oh, serious? Hold up. That'd be nice. This is his type of thing.
All right, let's call in the phone. One sec, guys.
All right, time to call again.
Call back. Black Rob, call back the the normal phone, yeah? Yeah, call back the normal phone. All right. Morning.
Morning, guys.
How's it going, man?
It's all good. Black Rob here. Yeah, I called I tried to raise my hand in the Discord, but I don't think no one's manning it.
No.
So do all of this with all the technology and the... What's going on?
What did I just do?
Anyway.
What are you saying?
Yeah, I wanted to contribute to that. I think a lot of times there was a time when I got into like this thing called apologetics, which is like a form of Christianity where if you're a very logical thinker, a lot of times people leave the faith because they're like, this stuff don't make sense and I'm just a pragmatic person. I need to know why with a lot of things. So then they break down little things that like someone that has a logical mindset wants to know. And there was stuff that I found quite interesting that I read about where a lot of times the science and the spiritual are actually sometimes quite complementary, and it's just the fact that the science just provides context to things that happened that we didn't really understand back in the days. So like there was like, for example, there's one, I read some stuff and I heard some people, there's some stuff about David and Goliath, for example, where, do you know like the mountain from Game of Thrones was based off of Goliath in more ways than one, because he was really tall, really powerful, but also had like really bad headaches. And he was abnormally big for his time, and same with Goliath. And then they said that it was based off of now they know that to be a form of a tumor in your pituitary gland that causes you to grow really big, but also gives you really bad migraines, and then those migraines can make people like not regulate their hormones properly and go into fits of rage. So Goliath was potentially just a victim of a tumor on his pituitary gland that made him grow really big and really make him really big. So he was bigger than most people in his time. And then also was just really angry and really violent just because he was suffering from this condition that made him not be able to regulate his emotions properly. Sorry.
Are you saying that that's what you believe?
No, I'm saying that that's a potential scientific explanation to provide context to who he was.
But
and why he was the way he was.
Goliath wasn't the only giant in the Bible. There were whole tribes of giants.
Yeah, I'm not talking about. Yeah, you're talking about like is it Nephilims and all that type of stuff.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. So because
I'm not talking about that.
Goliath, right?
Yeah, but I'm talking about him. He wasn't a giant you're talking about two different things. Goliath was a giant in the way they explained it was a giant as in like bigger than most humans. The giants that you're talking about are those that were like mountain-sized giants that were like a different race of people.
You know, you had different types of Nephilim.
But the
just
Nephilim,
it just speaks to like creations that God didn't create.
But what I think you can touch me, you can explain if I'm wrong, but the way Goliath was described was almost like I say I go back to Game of Thrones, like the mountain or like Hodor, and then the giants that the Nephilims are like the giants in the north of the world that were like building the ice kingdoms. Those are those type of giants. You know what I mean?
Sorry. So
do you get what I'm trying to say?
Goliath was like Hodor.
No, yeah. So like he could have been like 7 foot tall or like bigger than most humans, but still like a normal size. But like, and then there's giants that are like size of buildings, and those are like different race of people, whatever. Like, but I'm not talking about that. Basically, the reason why I was talking about Goliath was it was an explanation. It was like there's a lot of things that happen that seem like miracles and all that stuff, and they are miracles. But then retroactively, science can then later on explain it when we have a little bit more information. And like there's even some stuff about like the Red Sea parting, and there's like some ecological stuff that explained that could have potentially happened. And there's like a geographic some phenomenon that explains why it could have happened if it could have potentially happened. I can't go into the niche of it because I read it a long time ago, but if people look into that, so there's and then what you spoke about with Brent, what you talk about how like countries that are considered maybe third world or like Nigeria or even in the Caribbean where they're like, but they're more spiritually attuned than maybe the Western world. They were more not susceptible, but we're more, I won't say sensitive to the spiritual warfare or whatever. But then in the Western world, they'll just see it as like stuff that's like silly. But in reality, I consider the way the Western world views spiritual stuff goings on, and then like Africa and Caribbean is similar to the way that we view corruption. So let me use my analogy. While America and the UK are corrupt, and Nigeria and maybe Caribbeans are corrupt in different ways, there's no finesse to the way we do it. So it looks a bit more blatant, but they do it just as much, if not more. But they've learned to be a bit more, there's a bit more nuance and finesse to the way they do it, so then it goes under the radar a bit more. And I say that's how I see spiritual warfare in the Western world, where like look at all the stuff that's going on in Hollywood, look at like the Freemasons, look at like there's still Druid communities in UK and Scotland. They are very aware of spiritual stuff, but they've managed to still keep it a bit more cloak and dagger, and the Gen Pop are just like, nah, that stuff don't exist. But in like Africa or Caribbean, your average person is still very aware that stuff happened, because like you only need to speak to your auntie or your uncle and say, and then someone in their village went missing because the babalawo. Do you know what I mean? It's all front and center, so there's no finesse to it, so everyone's more aware of it. So that's why I think why the perception of spiritual stuff is a bit different in the Western world to Africa and Caribbeans.
Great points. I like when you call them up.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Yeah, I agree. It is front and center back home in certain areas. I guess when it is that you go into the city, it's a bit different. You get more nuance, you get more, I had this behind here, because obviously when it is dignitaries come over, they're speaking a different language, so we have to deploy a different type of thing. But I kind of just see it all as the same. I see it all as the same, because I can see behind the curtain too. I can see what
you can see, but we are the minority. Like we're the people that are the inquisitive Gen Pop are a very small. Like the thing is, we all know people that are educated, but then when you talk about quote unquote conspiracies, they don't want to hear it because I always find it a lot of times is people that benefited from I don't know, the institutions, like people that are more like there's people that are educated, they're smart, they got high flying jobs, but then when you try and tell them something that goes against the zeitgeist or something that disrupts their view of what the world is, then they're just like nah. And so then they're educated and they're not open-minded, and so the open-minded people are a very small percentage of even the educated population. So therefore a lot of this stuff can go on, and then people like me or you can just be like, this is so obvious, this, that. Like even that, even the Kate stuff, like you didn't even look twice, you're like, yeah, that's fake. But there's people that I'm friends with that are like, nah, why would the media put out fake? Because they can't fathom manipulation from higher power. So if they can't even fathom that, how can they even see all the spiritual stuff, like all the other stuff going on, if they can't even fathom do you mean like something as low level corruption as that? Do you know what I'm saying?
What are your thoughts about the original topic and then the one we segued to? Just briefly.
I wasn't listening from the beginning. So what was
the first one? Just.
The first one's about something called a psychopath. So basically, let me read it out to you. Basically, it was an anime that Usa watched, right? The person who submitted this topic of the day, right? Yeah. He said, in this anime, the law enforcement can apprehend citizens if they're considering actions that can cause stress and harm to others. Because of this, the system where the city where the system was implemented was very safe and everybody was a law-abiding citizen as long as you followed the rules and did not think of doing bad. But the system tracks your psychopaths, right? Which is your stress rating to ensure that the crime is reduced or stamped out before the perpetrator can even perform the crime. They use a gun to track the rating, and if the gun indicates that your rating is above the threshold for a criminal, it instantly kills you. If your rating is below the threshold, the gun doesn't activate. So the question was, is this a good thing if this was to be enacted in the world today, hypothetically?
No, that's an easy one. No, I don't know. I don't know how you guys extended that discussion for that
one. But you know the thing,
I haven't got a nuanced take on that.
If, for example, right, you were able to, for those people who kind of suffer from certain conditions where obviously their stress rating will go like crazy, for maybe small things or whatever it may be, if they maybe had a medical pass so that the gun didn't activate when it came to them, number one, or if there was a situation where you saw this particular thing implemented in a certain part of the world and there was 2% crime, everything functioned as it should. People had, the sort of things that, would be seen as a socialist paradise, right? Those things were happening in that particular part of the world. Would you still see it as something that shouldn't be implemented? And why?
Yes, because the unintended consequence of something that is that you're actually creating a society of psychopaths. Because the only people, the people that can regulate their heart rate on lie detector tests normally are trained military professionals or psychopaths. Do you know what I mean? Most people heart rates go up and down when they lie on a. So the people that know how to trick it are normally either really just skilled or maybe MI5, whatever, something like that, or they're crazy. So you're creating a society where everyone knows that there's a if you show any kind of emotional irregularity, you can die. So you train yourself to be even keel, independent of what's really going on inside, and that's a melting pot where that's going to cause problems eventually.
Okay. And what's the other one, Brent? The monologue, right?
Yeah, the inner voice. What's the inner voice? What is it? Talk to me. Can you hear it audibly?
I'm not gonna lie. I hear my own voice in my head, but I also thought that this conversation is a bit hard to have because it's one of those ones where you can only contribute your own experience, and you can't compare experiences because you only live your own life. So it's like, how do you even you and Iman could be talking about the same thing or even two different experiences, but because you have nothing to compare it to, it's hard to really have the conversation because everyone's using their own anecdotal evidence to bring to the conversation. So there's no way of comparing and contrasting.
I don't know. I mean, I hear what you're saying. Because I think you're using your outside voice. But I understood what Jordan was saying. I understood when he said, I had to look at you, now and again, just to see if the voice was my outside voice or my inner voice. Because sometimes I'm not sure because it's that loud. It's that audible to him. I understood that.
His inside voice is that audible to him that he doesn't know if it's his outside voice. If he's saying it or if
he
he's
had to look at me to see if the thoughts that he had actually came out of his mouth.
He's just smoking too much budge, man.
I don't know about that. I don't know about that because Scully said the same thing. They said the same thing. So I don't know if it's a case where it's just tantamount to smoking too much.
Do you know what it reminds me of? Do you ever used to watch Scrubs or them type of TV shows? There was Scrubs, that TV show. There was a thing where they did that was really good editing, where he'd be like doing something and then he'd like punch someone and then kick someone and then like it'll go back to 10 seconds earlier, and he was just like, that's what he wanted to do, but then he didn't do it, and he's like, and it's like, it sounds like that way. It's like, right, did I actually do that? It's like that to me, that's a cause of concern when you can't delineate your what you're doing in the real world from what you're doing internally, because that's an important thing to be able to do.
I don't know if concern is the right word to use.
Except for me, and it's a cool position. Because if I said everything that was in my head, I'll be. If imagine if you. I'll be in trouble.
All right, can you?
Because I give too much of my opinion as it is. Do you know what I mean?
Can you give us a brief glimpse as to how it looks like in your brain, using your words? Try to describe it.
This is getting real esoteric. I don't think it's that like I'm very much like a I take things at face value, then I go, okay, so why is it? I always try to go a step further than whatever's been presented, and then I also try and see things from other people's perspectives, and I think that's a good way to, and also try and see the other side. I try and do that thought experiment with most things on that, just so that I can get a full view of anything that I'm understanding. Because the surface level of information you're getting is always just that surface level. So if like someone's telling me X, Y, Z, I'll be okay, cool. Why did you tell me that? Oh, what's the reason behind that? Oh, what's there? That I don't know. I don't know how to answer that question. Yeah, I think in my head, and it's my own voice, and I don't really have outside, because some people say that they have voices that are like, even if it's a voice telling me, should I do this because it's a wrong thing? Normally, it's me. It's still me. If it's a voice where if there's a voice telling me something that I wouldn't even want, that never. Okay, let's put it this way. If there was like I would say in my younger years, if there was like a girl that I was interested in, but maybe I was talking to someone, I'd be in my head, I'd be like, should I do it? No, I shouldn't do it. But that's still all me. Now, if there was something that's so much outside of my morality that would be like that was in my head, then I'll think, this is not me, this is something else, because I wouldn't even think to even entertain something this. But there's certain things that I would entertain in my head, but then my morality kicks in and I'll just be like, that's not I'm not going to actually action that. But there's things that if it even came to my head, I would have to have a deeper analysis as to why it came to my head. Do you know what I'm saying?
But if it came to your head, does it come with a different voice? Does it sound different to your normal voice that you would kind of see as you?
I think I'm lucky in the sense where I don't think I have that experience of having.
Okay.
I'm not trying to be like all that. I just don't. I think most all my thoughts are my own, but I think I'd be able to delineate if it was something that was right. This ain't you. That. Do you know what I mean?
Thank you very much for participating in this segment. It would be nice if it is that you jumped in right from the very top, but
Yeah. Try the Discord then. Run the Discord.
All right. See you later. Thank you.
Thanks, man.
Cool.
All right. Let's push on.
All right. All right, people. So our next headline takes us to Brazil, where the federal police have accused the former president Jair Bolsonaro of criminal association and falsifying his own COVID-19 vaccination data. So on Tuesday, the police's indictment was released, which alleges that Bolsonaro and 16 others inserted false information into the public health database to make it seem as though his 12-year-old daughter and several others had received the COVID-19 vaccine. He knew something, allegedly, of course. During the pandemic, Bolsonaro was one of the few world leaders railing against the vaccine, openly flouting health restrictions and encouraging society to follow his example. Police accused Bolsonaro and his aides of tampering with the health ministry's database shortly before traveling to the US in December of 2022. A certificate of vaccination was needed to enter the US, obviously. So obviously they're saying he faked all of that. If convicted, a 68-year-old politician could spend up to 12 years behind bars and as little as 2 years. Next headline, big trigger warning on this one. Big trigger warning, guys. I'll give you 2 seconds. So a convicted paedophile who sent a picture of his erect penis to a 15-year-old girl has become the first person to be jailed for cyberflashing in England and Wales. Cyberflashing, for those who don't know, is an act typically involving an offender sending an unsolicited, explicit image to people via an online platform. Registered sex offender Nicholas Hawkes, who's 39 of Basildon, Essex, also sent unsolicited photos to a woman. The woman then took screenshots of the WhatsApp image sent on 9th of February and reported it to police the same day. So this happened just last month. They put him in prison ASAP. Hawkes, who admitted 2 charges, has been jailed for just over 15 months. He has now been sentenced to 66 weeks in jail for 2 offences. Hawkes was already a registered sex offender after he was given a community order last year for exposure and sexual activity with a child under 16. Passing sentence at Southend Crown Court, the judge, Samantha Lee, said that Hawkes was disturbed and had a warped view of himself and his sexuality. You see, big up, I don't think he minds me saying this. Big up Isaac, right? He sent me a clip. And I said to him, I'm not too sure if I can present this to the people and play devil's advocate on this, right? Because it was about pedophiles and how now, I mean, we kind of spoke about this before briefly, but basically how people are saying in the same way you have a sexual preference for a grown woman, a grown man, people have sexual preference for children. And so it's almost like they're trying to see with some time if for example, yes, it may be dangerous, which is kind of taking consent away from the kids, but you don't want to criminalize it anymore. You want to see these people as rational people, normal people in the world. So I say all that just to say, is this almost the beginning of this? Because this judge, of course, she said other things too, but she said that this particular guy was disturbed and had a warped view of himself and his sexuality. In a particular context, that sounds like, okay, yeah, put him in prison, but it's almost like it's just how he sees the world. Do you get what I'm saying? And almost like it's the beginning of accepting that people just see things differently. You know what I'm saying? Dangerous?
Yes.
Cool. Horrible.
Yeah.
Next headline. This could have probably been in Word of Road, but still supporting, man. Actor Jonathan Majors, ex-girlfriend Grace Jabari, sued him in federal court on Tuesday, 3 months after a New York City jury convicted him of assaulting and harassing her. So she is a British dancer, and she's suing Mr. Majors, alleging defamation, malicious prosecution, assault, and battery. In the court papers, she alleges that Majors physically abused her several times during their nearly 2-year relationship. The first time happened in July 2022. And she alleges in the lawsuit that Mr. Majors, that since Majors was convicted in December, that he has continued to attack her reputation. In February, 2 more of his girlfriends, Emma Duncan and Maura Hooper, all sound a particular way, told the New York Times that he had physically and emotionally abused them too. Those allegations span between 2013 and 2019. Through his lawyer, Majors denied that he had physically abused Duncan, and in response to emotional abuse allegations from Hooper, his lawyer told the Times, looking back, he's embarrassed by some of his jealous behavior. Marvel parted way with Mr. Majors, once a rising star in Hollywood, in December after he was convicted. But that's it for the headlines, man. Time to pay them bills. Let's get into people's... All right, people, welcome to the People's Journal, where I give you the news from an economics point of view. There's a few things to talk about, but I'll get through it quite quickly. Just need to take a few points. And basically, the rate of inflation, man, it slowed down sharply to an annual rate of 3.4% in February. 3.4. Do you remember last year? I'm pretty sure it was this time last year. No, to be fair, it was like 2022. End of that year, November times. People were projecting that come February 2023, we could have inflation at 15%. People thought this would be the case. It's crazy. So for the government to get it down to like 3.4%, of course, everyone suffered in the meantime or during that period, but it's crazy. But anyway, this is what do you call it? According to official figures, and they're basically saying that a big contributing factor is the food costs. That's basically what's made it, slow down sharply to a rate of 3.4%. Yeah, like I said, the food prices being almost flat this year compared to large rises that were last year, and and restaurants and cafe prices rises. The rate of increase also slowed down as well compared to last year. So yeah, UK inflation has dropped, guys. Good news, good news, good news. Next thing I wanted to mention is Audi's. This is basically some internal fighting. Sorry, not internal fighting. Yeah, kind of anyway, at a certain level anyway. Sainsbury's are basically reported Audi to what do you call it, to the advertising watchdog about them basically making false claims. Audi claimed over Christmas that it was the home of Britain's cheapest Christmas dinner, and Sainsbury's said, "Wait a minute, that's misleading." Obviously, which we spoke about bare times, their consumer group, probably the most known in this country, they actually did their due diligence and they found that Audi's Christmas dinner came in at 20% cheaper than what was offered at bloody Sainsbury's, despite Sainsbury's saying this is false advertising. Long story short, what Sainsbury's is saying is that the advert was misleading and that the price comparison wasn't representative of the prices during that period when people would be buying fresh produce to make the dinner themselves. So if you factored all that in, it wasn't necessarily cheaper. You know what I'm saying? If you went with Audi. And so obviously they had a problem with that because they felt as though if people believe this stuff that Audi's putting out, nobody will come to them. Or more people would obviously go to Audi and they'll lose customers. So they had a problem with that. Also in that same supermarket world, Tesco apparently has been told to change their club card logo. So, let me just show you quickly on the screen. That basically it's because of Lidl. Lidl's saying, yo, it's too close. It's too close, man. You know what I'm saying? Like you guys are stealing our customers. You're obviously benefiting from the fact that people know typically Lidl have cheaper prices than everyone else. Not everyone, but they're just known to be, on the other side of the spectrum compared to, Sainsbury's and Waitrose and them sort of places. And they're basically saying that Tesco is obviously taking advantage of that. Of their reputation for great value. So yeah. Last year, the High Court found in favour of Lidl, and on Tuesday, the Court of Appeal agreed. So Lidl, obviously, they walked off into the sunset happy, and Tesco are disappointed. So yeah, customers can expect to see a change to club card prices, that logo, in the next few weeks. So if you see that in your shops, guys, don't be surprised. I was listening to LBC yesterday, I believe, and I heard this next thing about Ted Baker. So basically, hundreds of jobs at risk, unfortunately, and they've had to call in an administrator, man. They're in serious trouble, man. It's going to be store closures. At least it's what people are expecting. Store closures, job losses, and yeah, they're just losing money. And unfortunately, hundreds of jobs are going to be at risk. So yeah, that's what's happening with Ted Baker. Also, Gucci. People who like to go and buy Gucci, the sales are expected to fall by 20%. I'm not too sure if that's going to translate to anything productive for you guys in terms of the price. If you can get certain things cheaper here, there, all over the place. But basically, yeah, sales at Gucci are expected to fall by 20% in the first quarter. And this is due to a slowdown in Asia. This is according to Kering. And yeah, so yeah, that's pretty much that with Gucci and HMRC. I wanted to mention this as well. And obviously, this is predominantly would affect those who are self-employed. And basically what they're saying is between 8th of April and the 30th of September, HMRC have said that the self-assessment telephone helpline will be permanently closed. So for those, if you're maybe anticipating or you've been in the past, been in a situation where you need to speak to somebody in that team so you can get help with doing whatever you need to do, between the 8th of April and the 30th of September, it will be permanently closed. So for half of the year, it's going to be closed. Yeah. So guys, if you anticipate anything, please get that in before the 8th of April. Don't find yourself in a rut because of this, man. So yeah, what they're saying is like obviously that you'll be forced to use one of them chatbots or like an online service. You know what I'm saying, for half of the year. And this is what's going to be like going forward. So yeah. That's that. And the last thing I want to mention is just, and I believe I mentioned this before, maybe a couple of weeks ago, and this is basically a dispute that's going on between Nigeria, or the Nigerian government, I should say, and Binance. So they've already told Binance, yo, you don't need to get out of the country. And the reason is because what's happening is they've asked Binance to provide information on the top 100 users of Binance, as in those with the biggest money in Nigeria. Because the Nigerian, this is the foolishness that's going on over it. This is why I have no problem saying it's a failed state over there. They're basically saying the reason why the Naira is poor performing as it is because of those people who have been taking money out of the country via Binance. They're making money in crypto via Binance and taking the money out. And this is what's causing the Naira to kind of plummet in value. Absolute nonsense. But yeah, there isn't much of that story. But yeah, but it seems like they're serious anyway. That they've put Binance in a situation where it's like, listen, give us all Nigerians' information now. They want the data of all Nigerians using it. Like I said before, it's just the top 100. But yeah, they want all the information of all Nigerians trading on this platform. And if not, I guess they'll be permanently out of Nigeria. But besides that, there isn't much else for the People's Journal. So we can go into the next headlines, Brent. All right, people. So this is a big trigger warning on this one. I'm pretty sure we touched on this briefly, but this is just a bit more information on it. And so police have arrested 3 more people in relation to a report of a racially aggravated hate incident on a black boy in Carlisle. So Cumbria police said that the further 3 arrests were made on Saturday, March the 16th, which brings the total number of arrests to 4. Officers responded following a report of a racially aggravated hate incident and concerns in the community after images were circulated online. Those arrests include 4 boys in their early teens, all from Carlisle as well. One was arrested on suspicion of racially aggravated actual bodily harm, and the other 3 were arrested on suspicion of abetting racially aggravated actual bodily harm. Police will be increasing patrols in Carlisle in response to concerns from the community, and officers are also engaging with key community stakeholders. Next headline, and apparently scientists say that they have successfully eliminated HIV from infected cells using Nobel Prize-winning CRISPR gene editing technology. So working like scissors, but at a molecular level, it cuts DNA so that the bad bits can be removed or made inactive. The hope is to ultimately be able to rid the body entirely of the virus, although much more work is needed to check it would be, safe and effective. But existing HIV medicines can stop the virus, but they can't eliminate it from the body. The University of Amsterdam team, who are presenting a synopsis or an abstract of their early findings at a medical conference this week, stressed that their work remains merely proof of concept and it will not become a cure for HIV anytime soon. Dr. James Dixon, who's a stem cell and gene therapy technologies associate professor at the University of Nottingham, agrees, saying that the full findings still require scrutiny. He went on to say that much more work will be needed to demonstrate results in these cell assays. Assays can happen in an entire body for future therapy. He also said there will be much more development needed before this could have impact on those with HIV. And the last headline, transgender patients facing a years-long wait for NHS gender care are being handed a death sentence. This is according to a mum of a trans woman who took her own life. Data obtained by Newsnight and analysed by the BBC found it will take 10 years to clear the backlog of people waiting for first appointments in gender care. The mother of Alice Littman, who killed herself while waiting for treatment, called for urgent changes to NHS care. NHS England said that it planned to launch a review into adult gender services, and the spokesman said that it had increased investment in gender services by about 130% over the past 5 years. A Department of Health and Social Care spokesperson said it was making progress to tackle waiting lists for adult gender services amid unprecedented demand. And that's it for the headlines, man. Quickly go into the reaction. All right, people, welcome to the reaction. To be fair, there's nothing really to react to. There's some what do you call it, international games that's going to be occurring. Where is it? Today, on Thursday. Like just all over the world, innit? So I guess we can kind of talk about that briefly. But yeah, besides that, there is nothing. I did notice that yesterday. You can say something?
Yeah, question after you noticed about yesterday.
Yeah, I just noticed at the end of the show yesterday. I think it was Ed. mention what happened to Dillian White. So yeah, Dillian White had a fight over the weekend, didn't it? Where was this? It was in a hotel, like basically a hotel. I think it was in Ireland. It wasn't streamed. It wasn't filmed professionally. It wasn't put up no platform. You can't watch the fight basically. And it was against the Hammer, Christian Hammer, I believe, something like that. Again, these are not boxers who have any, no disrespect to them, but at this point in their career, have no ambition in it. It's just a fight for Dillian White to kind of make it back into people's sphere and whatnot. But yeah, he won the fight. I think it was a third round stoppage. Hammer went back to his corner. The corner said, "Yeah, he's had enough," and that was it. There was nothing more to the fight, man. But people are now talking about a potential fight between Joe Joyce and Dillian White. I would love to see that fight, to be fair. I think that would be a competitive fight, and whoever loses that, especially if it's by a devastating knockout or something, they're pretty much, their career is just basically done, man. Both of them had fights over the weekend. Joe Joyce again beat Cash Ali, but it wasn't an impressive performance by Joe Joyce at all. It was bad, man. It was boring. He was slow. He looked slightly overweight. Obviously, heavyweights, there's no weight limit, but he just looked like he just wasn't himself. So yeah, that's pretty much it. But yeah.
Question for the Arsenal team: if you were to choose one of these three for the team, to slot into the team to make them better, who would it be? One, Ronaldo in his prime.
Which one?
The only one I acknowledge.
Okay.
Zinedine Zidane in his prime, or Maradona in his prime?
I think it might be Ronaldo.
Why?
Because I feel like Arsenal we've lacked in certain areas, right? But we just don't score goals, man. We don't. At the bloody right next to the finish line, that's where we just don't convert. Ronaldo would convert. Because like Arsenal has been yes, I said it. Well, I'm about to say it. Arsenal is the most creative team in the Premiership and been that way for how many decades? Arsene Wenger was the genius that brought this change of football, you know what I'm saying? And it's always been through Arsenal. Arsenal is one of those teams the team that made football look sexy in the Premiership. And the problem was just converting. Ronaldo in the team will convert. Win the league every season. That's what I'd say.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah. What about you?
I'll choose Ronaldo.
Yeah, Ronaldo, man. He's the guy.
For the team that we have now, I'll choose Ronaldo.
Yeah. Your question was just for now, right? Or
No.
back then? Okay,
No.
cool.
It's not back then. It's
yeah.
no.
I don't know why I thought back then. Yeah, but still now. But to be fair, the only reason why I'm now
But how did you think back then? I mean, we've had
because
good
we've
strikers.
lost. No, because we've lost. Yeah, exactly. But they didn't convert. We've lost the season. We've lost.
You're
seasons.
talking about just the latter years of Wenger.
Exactly. We've lost many seasons because people just didn't convert in front of the goal and just squandered chances. Poor up front. So that's why I was thinking Ronaldo. But even now,
We used to score. I mean, Van Persie was there.
yeah, but the guy was injured.
Adebayo
70%
even
of the
used
time.
to score. He used to miss a lot, but Adebayo used to score. I don't think we had problems.
Yeah, but we didn't. But remember, you're mentioning.
We didn't have problems scoring. There was a period of time when we had problems scoring, but that wasn't a thing that was blighting us. Don't do that.
I think it was, you know.
No.
So where was the weak point in Arsenal?
It was defense. It was midfield. I mean, there was a period, 100%, when we don't have a striker, 100%. But to suggest that we weren't scoring, I don't know about that.
I think they weren't scoring enough. I think the reason why Arsenal was top 4 at the time with a mediocre team was because the strikers weren't converting.
I understand. We lived in a world where Bentner was our choice,
goodness,
where
I forgot
Shamak
that
was
guy.
our choice, where Sonuga was our choice. I understand that, but when you said you're going back, you're only talking about the latter years of Wenger. You can't be talking about anything else.
Yeah, I'm definitely not talking about Bergkamp years and Henry years and stuff like that. But yeah, I guess I'll still choose Ronaldo. The reason why I wouldn't put Zidane is I feel like there'll be too much work for him to do.
If you put Zidane in the left 8 role, we won't have a problem with goals.
But then you'd kind of look to him and Maradona to kind of create and convert. It's a lot of work for one person. Can he do it?
It's funny because Henri used to be that guy.
That's what I'm saying. It shouldn't be, man.
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah, I don't know if it is that would be a problem for me if I was asked that question, because Ronaldo's just a clear winner. He could everything. He can change the game just like that.
100%.
Just like that.
100%.
Well, if it was a Ronaldinho or Ronaldo, then I'd be like, ooh.
By the way, do you think the people know which Ronaldo you're talking about?
If they don't, I cannot save them. I cannot save them.
All right, then.
I cannot save them.
Okay. But yeah.
All right, cool. Thank you.
All right, people, man. It's been a good show. Thank you for listening. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for Black Rob. Thank you to Black Rob, I should say, for calling in.
Thank you.
Thank you for everybody in the chat contributing to the convo. Remember, guys, if you do want to contribute to the conversation, on normal days, you can also do so via the Discord.
Yeah. All different types. Please
Yes.
present yourself here going forward. And I would love for you to actually call in at some point in time. I don't know if it's feasible for you where you listen. I don't know if it's at work or whatnot, but I want to know who you are. Because how you were typing, I don't know if you're one of those people who just find us on YouTube. But whatever it is, I'm still interested in in how you process things. I love it. Yeah, I want a dialogue going, and I'm sure it will provide a lot of entertainment.
Do you still want people calling in via the telephone number as well?
I want to remove that,
Okay.
Yeah, because the Discord is it's so clearer. It's easier to even have more than one person on the stage at any point in time. Yeah, because I really want the whole football or the sports element, especially when it is the way, I don't know, when it's the Euros or whatnot, to be all right, let's have a little round table, But that will come soon. It's all part of the plan. But I want to wean off the whole call via phone stuff because it's temperamental at best.
All right, you hear that, guys? So please join the Discord. Join the Discord, man. Everything's going on in there.
You haven't changed your picture in Discord. You're still operating as though you're brand new. And why are people going to be encouraged to come in Discord if it is that you're not chilling in Discord?
I'm in Discord, man. No, the picture don't matter.
Anyway, we have a strategy to basically have that particular forum be a nicer community of dialogue, discourse, banter, and link-ups and all sorts. But all in good time. But so far, I appreciate the people who have been populating it with posts and whatnot. Shout out to my best Jewish friend, Sarah. She's probably my favorite white person ever. Yeah. She likes good things.
Mine's Wenger.
Is he white though?
You know what I'm saying? It's true.
Remember that story where it broke when it is that we found that he was a philanderer?
Allegedly.
He was a womanizer.
Allegedly.
Yeah, you really loved Arsenal them days, man. It's like, that's why I knew it.
Wenger's just a genius, man. He's a great guy.
Yeah, and I read in the chat yesterday, somebody said I probably switched off watching Arsenal during the latter years of Wenger. No, I didn't want Wenger to go, and I watched every single game. What I emotionally disconnected from was, I think it was that game at 4-4. We were 4-0 up against Newcastle, and they came back and drew 4-4. I was like, yep, I cannot connect my emotional state to this team anymore. And I kept watching every single game, but I just didn't get vexed afterwards. I just expected nonsense to happen. So it was tempered. And I did well. and I watched every single game. So when it is Emery came in, I was like, they shouldn't have gotten rid of Wenger like that. And I gave Emery a look in. I actually wanted Arteta when it is that they were saying that they were thinking about bringing him in, only because he had been on the Pep, and I'd heard Pep talk so highly of him. And I was like, ooh, this might be interesting. And Wenger talked highly of Arteta also. He spoke very highly of him.
Yep.
So when now Emery popped down, he used to annoy me with his stupid commentary after the game. So annoying. But anyway, Arteta brought that emotional connection back, and I love him for it. I really appreciate him for it. And long may that continue.
Yes.
So nobody's gonna try to get me to get Arteta out of here. And it's crazy sometimes when Margs is there talking. For the longest while, he's there trying to convince me that Arsenal aren't good enough, right? They're failures, left, right, and centre. But then he's expecting trophies from Arsenal. Because if it is you don't get a trophy, then you're a failure. I mean, you have to pick one. You can't be suggesting that Arsenal's bollocks for time and then say if we don't win a trophy, it's a failure. It doesn't make sense. Choose one. But we're wavy right now.
Yeah.
And I only see us getting better because I feel that guy is ruthless. I feel he is ruthless. That's what Arsenal needs, you know.
100%.
That's what Arsenal need. A strong arm, man.
What do you think about Tomiyasu, man? He signed a new 2-year contract.
Yeah, I love Tomiyasu. I love Ben White. I love Timber. Timber's back. I only seen Timber play a couple games, you know, before he popped down. But Timber's back. That will change our game completely. People don't realize that yet. Yeah. We're nicely building a squad. Come summer, we'll make a couple other purchases. We'll get rid of a couple of people that don't need to be there. And we go again. But yeah, man, I'm enjoying football again.
Is that because of you're basically just saying we ain't going to win the league this year, but it's still...
No, it's possible. We can still win the league. We can still... I'm not expecting it, though.
Yeah.
I don't know if I would expect that until it is that we have a team that year in, year out, they're just delivering, and I'm not seeing dumb things happening. Do you understand? Because we are Arsenal, dumb things are in our DNA, right? But it looks as though he is ruthless enough to wean that crap out. Do you understand? And if it is, we can get that type of juggernaut, Alex Ferguson type of discipline where they fear even doing something stupid, but still creativity is given its space to basically, you know, flex. Under Arteta, this guy who's a great custodian of this club, the culture within this club, he's brought it back.
That's true.
The fact that everybody's hating on Arsenal from all corners. Bear in mind, I have met so many deluded Arsenal fans.
Yes.
That annoy the hell out of me, right?
Yeah.
And the whole reactionary type, all right, I love this person one day, but as soon as it is something, get him out. I hate them flipping people, right? And most of them ain't never played a lick of football in their life. You know what I'm saying? I hate them. But anyway, the love for football, the love for Arsenal is back. And I'm enjoying the fact that we're back where we belong. We're back where we belong, man. And I do believe that we can go further than where Arsene Wenger took us in Europe.
Okay.
Do you understand? In Europe.
I mean, that's the only thing he didn't do in it. Very much. Yeah.
We cheated.
Yeah, facts.
We cheated.
Are we still the highest won the FA Cup the most?
This is our cup. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
This is our cup.
People forgot about the brilliance of Wenger, you know. People forgot. Yeah, you're one of them. You're one of them, 100%. Yes, I know. I was one of the few supporting Wenger. People are laughing.
Who's you're one of them? Who are you talking to?
One of the people that was saying Wenger out.
Who's saying Wenger out?
You weren't saying Wenger out.
What are you talking about? When did I open my mouth to say Wenger out? Remember, let me not get vexed. Didn't you stop watching Arsenal when Wenger was still at the helm?
Yeah.
I never stopped watching Arsenal.
What does that mean?
To suggest that I was saying Wenger out is crazy for me.
So when
did we have dialogue about Arsenal? Because you stopped watching football.
No. You got this wrong, Brent. You do this a lot, by the way. Listen to me. You mean to tell me you weren't one of them people?
No, don't say that again because I've already
Okay, so what you
disputed
saying?
that. Tell me when I did.
Near the end of his career, innit?
No. Specifically tell
but I
me
can't
when
tell
we
you.
had dialogue, when I told you.
Yeah.
And what was the reason I gave for Wenger? I'm going.
Obviously, Arsenal's not performing well, and he's been there for too
That's
long.
not a. That's
Yeah, but
you're
obviously
being,
this is years
you're being
ago, though,
so general
Yeah, of course
right now.
I am. But remember, this has been years though. This is years ago, so I can't give you the exact things that we were saying. But listen, maybe
chat so much rubbish.
maybe right. It was a situation. Wait a minute, because I'm pretty sure people around me, I was the only one who was saying I like Wenger.
You
know what I'm
weren't
saying?
even watching
It doesn't
Arsenal
matter.
games.
It doesn't matter.
How does that not matter?
Because I remember what Wenger did. So I'm thinking, I don't like the fact that people are saying, to be fair,
this is not even necessary. This is not
Yes,
necessary.
it's not
it didn't
necessary.
happen. So it's not even. I'm
All
not
right,
even getting
cool.
into it. It didn't happen.
cool. All right, if that's what you're saying.
No, that's fine. And I
That's
don't
fine.
I don't mind that you're putting it out there because you were also standing behind you
if-
saying you weren't watching football games, right?
100% I wasn't.
That's cool. And there was a point in time when I asked you, name the 11 players on Arsenal's team.
Yeah.
You're like, I can't do it.
I can't do that now.
This is crazy to me. Crazy.
Because-
you're not an
because-
Arsenal fan.
No, I am.
No.
You know what the thing is? Even if people say I'm not, that's fine to be fair. I don't really care that much.
My friend, if you're saying that you can't even name their team,
yeah.
You don't watch games currently, do you?
No.
I don't know what. That's why I said this
because
is,
I
I'm
would
stopping
only
the conversation
watch,
here.
Okay, wait. The only thing I watch when Arsenal's playing is if, for example, it's a big game. I'm hearing
Every game is a
maybe.
big game, baby. I need to go.
All right, last thing I wanted to mention is because the guys in the chat mentioned Kobe Mainu
Yeah,
got called out for
that's a great
yeah,
That's a great.
got called out for England.
Yeah,
man.
there. Well done.
Big him up at 18 years old.
I want to see him do well, to be honest.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, that's pretty much it, you know. Guys, once again, thank you for tuning in. Make sure you tune in tomorrow. And yeah, guess we'll catch you tomorrow, man.
All right, later.
Peace.